What is you? What is you, bird? Yeah, listen to that. I'm tired. It's 6/26/26. 6/26, June 26th, 2026. That's the sun. That is the sun. I'm touching the sun. Well, we're approaching the Bicentennial plus 50 celebrations, which I'm not really into. I'm sorry. I don't like what's going on, you know. I had a lot of fun in the Bicentennial. I was 7 years old, and it was pretty memorable. And this week I'll be talking about a lot of the things that I remember from the Bicentennial 1976. And doing it that way. I'm also volunteered to work on the 4th of July because, like, it's time and a half. And, like, I don't give a fuck. You know, sorry. And a lot of those things have been taken away or are being attempted to be taken away. And for this, the people that are taking those things away, to be like, oh, we're celebrating and you must celebrate and this and that. Celebrate what? Celebrate the shit that you're shitting on? No. Sorry, dude. No. So I'm not really into that. But I am into time and a half. So I got that going for me. Alright, I'm just going through, and I've transferred most of my Super 8 movies. I keep them in this picnic basket because that's about the time period that the movies were shot. Was about the time when people used to have these wicker portable picnic baskets that they would put in the back of the station wagon. And we had a 1974 Colony Park Mercury Colony Park station wagon. It was a beautiful yellow with the fake wood paneling, huge vehicle. Of course, back in those days we didn't have too many seatbelt laws, and but the home ones that we had were all, and I kept these, and here's why I did. This was a transfer that was done in the 80s, and it was a VHS transfer put on VHS tape by some company, and not a great transfer. It was just basically projected on a sheet, and that's the way that you would transfer your videos back in those days. Your films, your Super 8 and your 8mm films, you'd have to just put them on a sheet or a flat white board, and then film the board from there. And these are, I have to clean that up and make it look a little better, but it's not perfect. So I also transferred my movies to VHS, and what a lot of people did was go, oh, okay, I'm all set, now I can throw the films away, which I didn't do, because I'm like, yeah, there's got to be a better way. There's always got to be a better way. Let me hold on to these, see if the technology advances. And I started to transfer them in like 1995, the Super 8 movies. And at that point, they were still in good shape. Now they're sort of breaking down. On a lot of these films, I wasn't able to sort of make out the expressions on people's faces. Now, with the quality, I can see, that mom's getting pissed, or dad's drunk, or, the kids are goofy. You can kind of get a real good sense of, as you can focus in on their faces a little bit and the color looks better, you can kind of get more into the film and kind of go back. And that's what I'm doing right now, because I'm thinking about the Bicentennial. And I'm really, disappointed in the way things are today. And I'm not going to lie. But as a 7-year-old in 1976, it hit differently. Let's just put it that way. And I don't eat hot dogs and hamburgers anymore. That's the other thing, like hamburgers. Open a pack of hamburger. Tell me that it's okay. You know, tell me when you get that smell when you open a pack of hamburger and it smells like fucking formaldehyde or ammonia or, I don't know, sewer gas. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's not hamburger anymore. Hot dogs, well, we'll just say that we've known about hot dogs forever. That's like the phrase, nobody wants to see the hot dog being made. So this was a familiar thing in 1976, and I believe we had something similar. It's an Uncle Sam bank. You put the quarter in Uncle Sam's hand, and he puts it in his carpet bag, which is pretty much what fucking happens anyway. But it was kind of a cool toy. I'll show you. So you place a quarter in Uncle Sam's hand. And I wish I had a Bicentennial quarter. I used to have a lot of those. And you press this button, and the quarter goes into the bank. See? That's kind of cool. But this is a repro of. They did a lot of these repros back in the day. The die metal. I don't know what kind of metal this is. His mouth is supposed to go up and down when his umbrella moves. That's kind of neat. But that's pretty much from that time period. The fire hydrants, they painted them to make them look like Minutemen, colonial Minutemen. There was a park called Putnam Park, which is where General Putnam had his troops, and that was in the town that I grew up in. So there was a lot of red, white, and blue. The red, white, and blue basketballs, Harlem Globetrotters from that time. Bicycles. All the Schwinn bikes had like these ribbons on the handlebars that were red, white, and blue. So like everything was targeted to red, white, and blue for a kid. And there was an excitement in the air, at least in, I don't know. Yeah. But in 1976, we spent the summer on Cape Cod, which is really cool. We were able to do that. Back in the 70s, 60s, 50s, like our family from Massachusetts would go to Cape Cod, and it was an affordable thing. You'd save up money all year, and you'd go on the Cape. You'd rent a little shack, a little cottage, and then you'd spend the time there. We had they were putting an addition on my childhood home, so we spent the summer of '76 in Dennisport on the Cape, and it was a sad summer looking back because it was Mom's last summer, and Mom was not doing well. Frequently, we'd go to the beach, and Mom would be too drunk to bring us back. And I remember once we had to get a ride back to the cottage because Mom was too drunk. And that's sad, but like that's what eventually killed her the following January. 76 had a lot of memories. There was also the Olympics. I remember the Olympics in 76. Powerlifting. I remember there was a big Russian powerlifter, this fucking huge dude, and he lifted this thing, and it was a big deal. I remember just that whole vibe. The fireworks at night. I remember that July 4th was crazy. We went to bed early. I was 7 years old, so I probably went to bed at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, unless Mom was drunk, and then, I don't know, maybe I didn't go to bed till late, but the fireworks and the craziness of that event. I remember that. Of course, I also remember this guy. You remember this guy? This is Fonzie. He pressed this thing on his back and his thumbs go up. But this is the Kenner Fonzie doll. I got that in about 74, I think. But that's like, those are the toys that we had. We had the action figures. I had the Bionic Man. I still have the Bionic Man, but he's a little bit in rough shape. If I had to compare 1976 to 2026, I think it would look a little bit like my $6 Million Man guy. He's all fucking backwards, he's naked, and he's missing a limb. That's pretty much what 2026 is to 1976 to me. And of course, those memories were captured on this camera. This is a Super 8 camera. It is a Sanyo Super LXL 250. And to be honest with you, I thought it was Sanyo, but it's Sankyo. I don't know what that is. It has a light meter there. I use this camera. I bought old stock or whatever Super 8 film back in the 90s. in the late 90s, and I was able to make a couple of films with it, and it still worked. And this was our home video camera back in those days, a Super 8 movie camera. You'd shoot your films, which were about 5 minutes or 4 something minutes, and then you would bring them down to the photo mat and get them developed. But only happy times were filmed on the camera. So a lot of the films in this basket here are, you know, birthdays, Christmas, and the summer, and that's what a lot of this is. Swinging on the swings, and Old McDonald's Farm. That was a place in Norwalk, Connecticut that had it was like an amusement park kind of place. Here's a Christmas '73, and you know, Chris, that's me. Summer '71. Yep, that's how old I am. I was a cute baby. Christmas '76. That was the last Christmas with Mom. You know, and this is really kind of cool stuff. This represents like a family legacy, a family that is mostly gone. The three of us, the 3 kids, we are still here in various states of decay, but we are still here. This is questionable punctuation, and I love those. Remember those label makers? I think they still make them in some regard, but like these are fun. That's questionable. Chris's 6th birthday. I guess that's me. Yeah. So Chris and Heather. 72 summer. You know, that's like the golden age. And the sun looked different. The sun was golden. Now the sun looks like yellow tape. The sun is different. I don't know, maybe it's the same. It's the same sun, but like, I'm just saying, things are different now. There was a time. What the fuck? But 1976 was better than... 1976 is better than 2026. I don't know. Maybe not. This would never have happened back in 1976. Back in 1976, you call a guy, he's like right down the street, or you look in the yellow pages right there, or you go to the store and there's a shingle up there. It says, hey, plumber, you know, for hire. And then you call him up and he fixes everything and he charges you like $50 and he goes home and it works. Nowadays. Here is a great one from '76. This is an 8-track tape that came when you bought a 1976 Cadillac. I don't have the Cadillac, but I have the tape. But the tape is broken, which bums me out because I wanted to, you know, if someone has a 1976 Cadillac with an 8-track player in it, they might have wanted this tape. So it's Enoch Light, which is great music, pop instrumental music, very cool records, but this is obviously from the 70s, and this one was for the 1976 Cadillac. This is just beautiful stuff, but again, it broke in. Just like everything else, just like 2026, where everything is fucking broken, the tape is broken as well. This is about from that time period, the 76. I wish I could put this in and play some things for you, but you know how that goes. So I'm just going to pretend, and then I'm going to add some like fake 70s music or something in there. Okay, ready? Give me the beat. Well, this is Senator Mitch McConnell. I'm sorry I'm unable to speak to you right now because I'm nearly dead. No offense, but I'm nearly dead. That's why I use red mouthwash, because when I rinse with red mouthwash, if my teeth and gums are bleeding, then I'll never know. See? That's a way to avoid going to the dentist. So this is kind of interesting. I have the fabric of my youth. These are the bicentennial time period sheets that I had as a child. And when it came time to get rid of stuff, I said, I want these. There's something about the fabric of your childhood. And this was an especially special childhood in 1976 with the bicentennial.